I thought this was interesting that the game Insider Gamers have provided in this article. Arc Raiders is doing pretty well. Arc Raiders is doing pretty well. All right, and towards the end of December, Arc Raiders put out this new thing called Expedition Project. This went live towards the end of December. What it did was it allowed players to leave the game's map behind and reset their account in search of a fresh playthrough. And it was this kind of a balance and mechanic that allowed players another go around at the game. And apparently what they're planning is to reintroduce this mechanic every once or 2 or 3 months. It was an optional mechanic, obviously you don't have to do it, and it was explored by more than 1 million players, which sounds like a lot, but given that Arc Raiders right now is being played by about 12 million players, it's about 8% of those. Only 8% of players actually carried out the optional account wide. Arc Raiders is still sitting at the top of the extraction table for now. It dropped back in October 2025 and quickly became a stellar, award-winning game adored by millions of players. The exposure the game received on streaming and social platforms was unparalleled. In December, Arc Raiders players everywhere were invited to complete the game's first expedition project. The optional step requires players to collect scores of specific items to build an escape caravan, migrating away from the game's safe zone and walking off into the sunset. They are then handed a fresh character and must go back through the game again, this time with a few buffs acquired via the expedition project process, which sounds pretty cool. It is kind of like a prestige. But only 8% of people have completed that. Only 8%, which is not a lot. Although 8% is about 1 million people, but still not a lot. So they're trying to revamp everything. Over 1 million players completed that first expedition. That represent a relatively small minority, but sales estimate there were a few issues with the expedition project, such as the grind required to get there and tick the final boxes to unlock all the benefits. So that likely explains why so few people completed the task. Many players had an issue with the hefty requirements. To unlock the 5 free skill points handed down upon the launch of a successful expedition, they were charged with collecting a whopping 5 million credits in stash value, translated into 1 free skill point per 1 million credits. That's where the issue was. See where the Yoda, you know what I'm talking about here. Getting credits can be kind of a grind. To acquire 5 million credits just to get 5 skill points feels like a lot. That's a lot. Can you buy credits? I don't know. I don't think you can buy the credits that they're talking about. This is in-game currency. You can buy credits for like store items. They're talking about in-game currency here. If you could buy in-game currency with real money, that becomes pay to win. And that would break the game, because then people can use money, real money, to buy in-game currency and get an advantage, and that would become pay to win. I don't think those currencies overlap. They're pretty separate. So you got Raider tokens, which is what you use to buy shit in your store, like cosmetic items. You can buy Raider tokens with your real money. You can only buy stuff from the store. You can't use that money for in-game stuff. This is purely for cosmetics. So you go to store, you have all these bundles, which you use the same Raider tokens to buy. And you can buy Raider tokens with real money, obviously, because it's store items. They're just purely cosmetics. And then you have cred. Cred is purely used to advance your battle passes, which are called decks in the game. The only way you can earn cred is by completing different like little missions, side missions, like destroy 3 wasps and you get 10 creds. Return safely from spaceport, you get 10 creds, like that. You complete 5 feats, like all these stuff that you have. Once you complete them, you get creds, and those creds can be used to advance in these decks. Cosmetics, real money, and then you have decks, which also unlocks other cosmetics, but it's exclusively to the decks, which is the same as battle pass. And then you have coins, the in-game currency used to buy gear from traders and earned by selling loot and completing quests. You can't buy coins with real money. You have to go into missions and complete your... See, these are the quests that you can do. Once you complete these quests, you get money. And even if you go to your inventory, all the stuff that's in your inventory, you can sell them. Each one has a sell value and you can sell it. Sell for 4,800. So you can sell all the stuff that you loot in the game and then get money that way, and that adds up here. What the expedition quest is asking to do, this is the expedition quest. Get better cosmetics. I've only just started. I will get it. Oh, wait, what is this? Oh, cool. I'll claim it. 10 million raiders in the Rust Belt. Holy shit. Okay. I got a cool pickaxe. Nice. Anyway, as I was saying, you need to even reach level 20 to actually unlock this. I haven't unlocked it yet. And this is requiring you to have 5 million of these stuff, which you can only accumulate by playing the game and selling your loot to unlock skill points, which is a grind, quite a grind. So that's why people are getting turned off. It's a big commitment. Kind of makes sense why there's only 8%, trying to do that, because I would imagine it'll just be the most hardcore people trying to do that right now. One of the bigger topics of feedback was the requirements for the final stage to get the skill points, and probably going out a bit too late with that information because we wanted to hold off until we could calibrate it. Okay. Yeah, so 5 million credits for the full thing. We said that as an inspirational goal that some players might achieve, but then I think a lot of players took that as like, well, now I have to do that to get it. I think they need to go back and, revamp that a little bit. It's a really cool mechanic, like wanting to, restart and get some like exclusive buffs and have a fresh playthrough. That makes sense. A lot like Prestigism, like Xavier the Yoda mentioned. It's so far out of reach for most people's patience level. They need to set the parameters so it's a little bit more achievable for the game. I think it will be good for the game because it'll give the option for players to want to restart the game and have a fresh playthrough, and that makes it, replayability value goes up for the game too, which is already there. Like, it is pretty replayable. It's a multiplayer game. What do you want? But that makes the people stick around a little bit longer. So many games to play such little time. Most players would probably spend a little bit more time than that on the game, especially because the way it's set up. Yeah, working adult people. Yeah, true. Not true. I mean, that's all you can spare. So that makes sense. But the thing is, it is very addictive. See what the Yoda would know, because when we played it, we didn't realize how addictive it gets. The more you play it, the more you want to keep playing. It is a pretty addictive game, but you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know how addictive it is because you never tried it. Pussycat. I don't want that addiction. Yeah, it's one of the greatest dopamine hits I've ever had in recent memory. In ways even better than Battlefield. I said Pussycat. I'm talking about cats, bro.